Falcons booked their spot in the quarterfinals of the 2025 Women's Africa Cup of Nations with a narrow 1-0 win over Botswana on Thursday. The match held at the Stade Larbi Zaouli in Casablanca was settled by a late 8-minute strike from substitute Chiwendu Ihezuo. Now, despite dominating possession, Nigeria found it difficult to breach Botswana's disciplined defense, and the Super Falcons started with key players like Asisat Oshoala, Rinsola Babajide, Rasheedat Ajibade, and Chiamaka Nnadozie in goal. Well, with 6 points from 2 matches, Nigeria top Group B and will face second place Algeria, who have 4 points in their final group game on Sunday. All right, bringing us more updates right from Casablanca is our sports correspondent Oyechi Obaro in this report.
Nigeria made it 2 wins from 2 at the 2024 Women's African Cup of Nations, urging a spirited Botswana side 1-0 at the Stade Larbi Zaouli in Casablanca on Thursday. Despite the absence of the official supporters club, Nigerian fans based in Morocco filled the void, drumming, dancing, and cheering the Super Falcons from the stands. Some supporters called on the Nigerian embassy to help facilitate the presence of more fans at future games, saying the girls deserve more backing on the continental stage.
The embassy, they didn't announce to us where we can get the ticket on time. We just need to come here and see that we got the ticket. There are many people at home that doesn't have the ticket and they don't know how to get the ticket.
People are scattered all over here. People are living far and near. People who are coming around here is just people around in Casablanca. We have people in Tanja, we have people in Marrakesh, we have people in Rabat. So the number we have here is a little bit okay for me, and I think they have a massive support from the fans here. Asisat!
The second half opened with intense action on the sidelines. Asisat Oshoala reacted visibly frustrated after being substituted, but it did not stop Nigeria from pressing forward.
Oshoala left the match angry. They should have given her more time to play. In the second half, she has the potential. Remember, she's the best player in Africa.
I think I was surprised that the coach made a 3-woman substitution at halftime. I was surprised. I think he changed a bit the tempo, but I mean, he knows what he's seen in training and he knows what he saw in the match that made that decision. But a win is a win. We're just happy with the win and we're happy to go through to the next round.
It was Chiwendu Ihezuo, nicknamed Black Diamond, who latched onto a loose ball to fire home a match winner. Her goal was the final act of the night, sealing maximum point and confirming Nigeria's place in the quarterfinals. But the drama did not end there. A fan boldly invaded the pitch during celebrations, dancing with the team before returning to the stands without any security intervention. A moment that drew both laughter and questions about security at the tournament. Captain and woman of the match, Rasheedat Ajibade, had little to say post-match, while head coach Justin Madugu emphasized that the team remains a work in progress.
Fought to the very end as a team. It wasn't an easy game. It was a very difficult one. But yeah, all thanks to my teammate, all thanks to the technical team, and all thanks to the supporters that came out to cheer us today.
It's work in progress. We know what we are here for, and we're not, like I said, all the teams that are here deserve to be respected. They are all working hard and everybody wants to win their games. And most times, as the competition gets, as we keep making progress in the competition, obviously we must know that competition will be tougher. The opposition will be much stronger. We are quite ready for all that. As we get to every breach, we will know how to get over it.
Botswana coach, meanwhile, dismissed criticisms over time-wasting tactics. Instead, urged journalists to show more respect to his players' effort.
I think it's time we put some respect on Botswana. We are never go to the game to delay the game. We have the quality to compete. Did we compete? Yes. Did we win duels? A lot of them. So we need to put the respect on Botswana. We don't delay the game. We plan for the game.
With the quarterfinal ticket already secured, for the fans in Casablanca, it's a mission almost accomplished.
We really dominated the match from the beginning.
only that they have a very good defense. But last, we did something. In fact, I'm really grateful.
Well, I've seen like 4 or 5 games already, and Nigeria seems to be the strongest team. So all we have to do is take it one game at a time, and then we'll go on with the trophy.
After several minutes of trying to break down the defense of Botswana ladies, the Super Falcons of Nigeria have been able to seal their second victory at the 2024 Women's African Cup of Nations. Now they remain table toppers in Group B. One task remains ahead for the Super Falcons of Nigeria, a game against Algeria, a familiar foe that they encountered during an international friendly at the Ikenne Stadium in Ogun State. Fans in Morocco are grateful and happy that the Super Falcons of Nigeria have been able to have a back-to-back win at the Women's Cup of Nations. We wait to see if that mission is still at hand for the Super Falcons in this encounter. In Casablanca, Morocco, for News Central, I am Onyinyechi Obaro.
All right, Onyinyechi Obaro with the report, and joining us now live all the way from Casablanca, Morocco is our sports correspondent Onyinyechi Obaro. Good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for joining.
You're welcome, Favor. We're here in Casablanca hoping to bring you updates as they unfold.
All right, thank you very much. And joining us all the way from the FCT Abuja is a sports journalist, Itoro Jimmy, joins us also. Itoro, good afternoon to you, and thank you very much for joining.
Good afternoon to you, Favor. It's always a pleasure to be here.
All right, let me come to Onyinyechi Obaro. You were closer to the action from the game, from the start of the game to the end of the game. Yes, we are through to the quarterfinals, but Nigerians back home are not impressed with the performance of the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Can you also share insight towards how the players, felt, and of course the fans or the supporters, Nigerian supporters in Morocco? Are they happy? Are they okay with the performance? And what should we be looking forward to, ahead of the knockout stages?
All right, there is a feeling for every single person to be shared among the supporters, among fans, among journalists, because the Super Falcons themselves were not impressed with that performance yesterday, even for the fact that Botswana were on a 4-game losing streak before that encounter. And you know that they lost in the hands of Algeria before coming to face the 9-time African champions. Now, fans would have expected that 9-time African champions will give them a whooping. Not to talk of 5 goals, but even 6 goals at least in the hands of Botswana. But that's not what we saw yesterday. Now, in that game yesterday, there were a lot of anxiety from the fans, from the stands, from the sidelines, even on the pitch, wondering what is really happening. Why are we not breaking through the defense of these Botswana ladies who lost in the hands of Algeria? Algeria scored a very early goal. That's to tell you that they could penetrate so early into the defense of the Botswana ladies. Though Botswana had a boost. Remember, they had a return of one of their player, a defensive player, a centre-back to be precise, who did not, who was not fielded in that game against Algeria because of some cautions. But she returned for the game against Nigeria, and we could see the impact. We could see Lona's impact in that centre-back because she made it very difficult for the forwards of the Super Falcons of Nigeria. But great thing that Coach Madugu could read the game from the stands. He was able to make the correct changes. The midfield were not communicating with the forwards, the 3 forward he fielded, the likes of Oshoala, Rinsola Babajide, and also Tony Payne. They could not just get a ball communication from the back line, from the midfield. But the second half, the change, we saw the difference. Ihezuo came to the party, and just that little bleep, a loose ball, and she was able to convert it into the lone goal for the game that granted Nigeria a quarterfinal berth into this 2024 Women's African Cup of Nations.
All right, let me come to Itoro Jimmy. Itoro, I know you have your thoughts and your views about what happened yesterday. I'd like to hear. And also, do you think that Mission X is still possible, or do you think we should change it to a Miracle X?
Why do you have to go to a Miracle X? I mean, Mission X is still very much possible, Favor. I know that after all that happened yesterday, you are right when you pointed out that journalists back home in Nigeria, and not just journalists, sport fans, football fans, I mean, women football followers, are really, really, concerned about the way the Super Falcons played yesterday. And we saw a whole lot of, backlash, on these players. And I think really if the team really wants to go ahead, because the Mission X is still very much possible. At this point, they've gotten a lead going into the quarterfinals already. They have to really up their game. I'm not going to take anything away from the Botswana team. They came prepared. I will tell you for a fact that I think they were actually looking for a draw. I mean, getting a draw against a 9-time champion, the Super Falcons of Nigeria, wouldn't be a bad idea. Losing out the very first match they played against Algeria is something, of course, that they will go back to the drawing board and work on. And they made sure they were not humiliated.
All right, I think we lost connectivity with Itoro Jimmy, but let's come back now to Onyechi Obaro. From yesterday's tactics deployed by Coach Justin Madugu, one thing was key. The starting 11 did not work for him, and he had to make substitutions, bringing in midfielders from an attackers. Ihezuo also came on board. Esther Okoronko also came on board. Echegini also came on board. Do you think that he probably will be looking at rejigging his squad going into the final group game against Algeria in terms of having to play the formula that works for the team?
All right, for the coach, Justin Madugu, he was quizzed about that in the press conference, post-match conference yesterday. And his defense was he is ready to give every single player a chance in that team. And that's the reason why he makes his substitution, bringing new players to come rejig the whole tactics in the second half. Now, I cannot wrap my head around the coach having to field the same starting 11 he did field at the game against Tunisia. The same starting 11 that they struggled a lot to be able to convert chances. Even though we had Oshoala score a goal, that goal was just a little defensive naivety from the Tunisians, and she was able to capitalize on that. But he stuck to that starting 11. Second half, yes, as he said, that he'll be able to give every single player a chance. It seems that's the mission, and that's the reason why he rejigs the system every time in the second half. And every time he brings new players in the second half, we see a difference. The tempo rises. We see a difference in the style of play. Players move freely. We question the captain of the side, Rasheedat Ajibade, why we've not seen the same Rasheedat we have been seeing for the Super Falcons a long time ago, even in the international friendlies, hoping that maybe she was choked in a way with the tactics being deployed by Justin Madugu. But she said she has been told to play to instruction, and she's playing to instruction, and she's playing freely. But for the fact that she was able to string some good ones yesterday that gave Ihezuo that opportunity, could tell us that Rasheedat is really, at this time, trying to step up the pace, trying to be that Rasheedat we always have known her for. But yesterday's formation, I think, did not work the early minutes of the game. The substitution of Asisat Oshoala, she was not pleased when she was substituted. But the coach makes the final decision. The coach knows what he sees. He knows what he has seen from the stand. He knows what he has read. He knows what his match report is. And that's the reason why he had to rejig the system. So rejigging the system worked for him yesterday. And I'm hoping that he can get that. At the moment, Deborah Abiodun, she has been booked twice. So she will not play for Nigeria in the final group game against Algeria, and I'm very certain that the coach knows that because he affirmed that in the post-match press conference. So Deborah Abiodun will be out, and we're hoping that Christy Ucheibe should be given a chance in that midfield in the game against Algeria. Favor.
All right, thank you very much. Okwe, you have a question?
Yes, so Itoro, I mean, under Randy Waldrum, we had a lot of criticism from fans. They said that we were just too defensively compact. Nothing really was happening for us going forward. Immediately, Justin Madugu took over. It seemed to be that we got our attacking flair back. But now that we've come to AWCON, we are struggling to score goals easily. We've had issues of possibly Ajibade being played out of position, Oshoala not involving herself fully in the attack. And then we've seen the way the likes of Echegini and Okoronkwo Esther, anytime they come on from the bench, they always just seem to change it for us. Going into the third group stage game, I'm sure we're looking forward to seeing Justin Madugu rejig the squad again. But Itoro, in your own opinion, how do you think the Falcons should continue to line up to give us a very strong chance of being dominant in the knockout stages?
No, for one, I would say you don't change your winning team. You really, as a coach, you don't change your winning team. You take a look at what you can rejig. And of course, we've seen that Madugu have not made a mistake at all when it comes to substitution. I give that to him. And under him as well, we've seen that the Super Falcons have been a very free-scoring side. They've been able to register more than a goal, in matches. But at this point, I don't want people to cancel the Super Falcons just yet because there's still time. We still have a whole lot, to put out there. Don't forget that some of these players are just meeting for the very first time in this tournament. They had very little time to come together. So it's a whole lot of work for the coaching team and, of course, for these players as well to, play to instruction, just like he said, and also to be able to apply themselves, very well. So we shouldn't, be quick to throw the coach under the bus just yet. I think with his his method, the Super Falcons can still go far in this tournament. No matter the lineup he brings up, we should be able to, go far in this tournament because with the substitution he's done so far, it will tell you that he's somebody that is tactically sound and he knows what he wants. And he doesn't wait for, time wasted. He doesn't take the back seat. He takes action when he thinks that it is very, very necessary. So I think the Super Falcons will see more goals from the team, going further in this tournament.
All right, I want to say a big thank you to you, Itoro Jimmy, for your quality time. We look forward to an interesting knockout phase and hoping that Nigeria goes all the way to, getting that 10th title. Well, thank you very much for joining.